It's very difficult to move on from the awful story in Huntingdon and the 6:25 LNER service from Doncaster to London King's Cross, which was full. Students, football fans, commuters heading home, travellers escaping the early dark of November, 10 minutes after leaving Peterborough. The ordinary became horrific. The man with the knife began stabbing at random. The terror lasted minutes, but I'm sure it will echo for years. British Transport Police were called at 7:39. By 7:42, emergency protocols were in motion. The driver, Andrew Johnson, a former Royal Navy veteran, made the vital decision to press on to Huntingdon, a move that almost certainly saved lives, and when the train stopped, armed police stormed aboard and tasered the attacker. Within 8 minutes, the rampage was over. 11 people were taken to hospital, 5 have since been discharged. 1 remains in a life-threatening condition, an LNER staff member who tried to intervene, confronting the attacker with nothing but courage and bravery. His actions, police say, were nothing short of heroic and undoubtedly saved many people's lives. The suspect, just one suspect in the end, a 32-year-old man from Peterborough, is now the sole focus of the investigation. A second man, wrongly identified in the chaos, has been released without charge. Police have ruled out terrorism. They're now examining the mental health history of the man in custody. Witnesses have given harrowing accounts. A student, Amira Ostowski, spoke of blood everywhere and of passengers trampled as they ran. She picked up a metal tray from the buffet car, convinced she was about to die. A young man, Thomas McLaughlin, told how another passenger was slashed in the face while trying to shield a little girl. These are stories of fear, but they're also stories of bravery and decency in extremis. What unfolded on that train was not just an act of violence. It's a mirror held up to our society, a reflection of fragility, of random vulnerability, and the quiet heroism of ordinary people. But within hours of the attack, politics re-entered the scene. Reform UK's deputy leader, Zia Yusuf, appeared on television on Laura Kunsberg's show, and his tone was measured at first. He offered condolences, praised the first responders, and cautioned against speculation. Yet within minutes, although he was warned, he pivoted towards a familiar argument linking knife crime to immigration, demanding border crackdowns and invoking a story of decay and national weakness in the face of immigration. It was an opportunistic slide, one that sought to draw moral capital from tragedy before the facts were known. Yusuf declared that too many people who should never have been in this country are committing violent crime. Despite police confirming that both men arrested were British nationals, the parallel he wished to draw was not to the killer's psychology or to the failures of mental health provision, but to a supposed failure of immigration control. And this reveals something deeper, not about knife crime, but about political reflex. Reform UK's instinct, like that of certain tabloids, is to search for alien menace rather than human pathology. Knife crime is not imported, it's not the work of strangers, it's a symptom of our own social unravelling, of isolation, of untreated mental illness, of a culture that both glorifies violence and rejects prevention. The Defence Secretary, John Healey, himself on the same train earlier that day, was right to describe this as an isolated attack, while acknowledging we live in a new era of threat. That phrase is important. The threat is not simply terrorism, but fragmentation, the erosion of the civic trust that binds us together. When commuters fear one another, when rhetoric divides the innocent into us and them, we all become weaker. In the days ahead, there will be questions. Should security on trains be increased? Should there be bag checks, armed patrols, new surveillance powers? Some will say yes, but we must remember, you cannot make every public space a fortress. What keeps a society safe is not endless policing, but a culture of care, vigilance, and mental health support that catches the desperate before they turn violent. We can take comfort in one fact. Amid chaos, the British instinct for courage and compassion still prevailed. The driver who refused to stop in darkness, the staff member who stood beside or between a killer and his passengers, the strangers who bound wounds and comforted the frightened. These are the counterpoints to cruelty. So, let this not become a moment for political exploitation or xenophobic fear-mongering. Let it instead be a moment of reckoning. with our failing mental health systems, our fascination with violence, and our need to restore civility to public life. In Huntingdon, blood was spilled, but it also revealed the quiet moral strength that still runs through this country. It is that strength, not slogans about borders or divisions, that will keep Britain humane.